All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very special guest, my main man, Brandon Geyer. Brandon, I want you to just kick us off. Just tell the people who you are and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Brandon Geyer, 7-year major leaguer, retired in 2020. Right after I retired, started a company called Major League Mindset. I was always obsessed with the mental side of the game, and now I wanted to take everything I learned from my journey and develop I'm a big system guy, develop a system that I know will empower others with the mindset to show up at their best on and off the field, a big part of that off the field. And so I created that. It's a lot of mostly for athletes, but I started to do a lot of in the corporate world as well, and it just translates to all facets of life. And it's my calling, it's my passion, it's my obsession. And it also, what I do, it gives me the freedom to be with my wife and 3 kids and make my own schedule and everything. So yeah, that's a little, I could go on and on, but that's my background and what I'm doing now.
That fires me up, dude. I love it. And I love your story. So give the people a little bit more insight into the main mission behind MLM. Who are you trying to impact the most through your teachings?
Yeah, so I want to, I said it earlier, like empower athletes with a mindset that enables them to consistently show up as their best self on and off the field so that they can go out, they can play free, they can play loose, they can play confident on a consistent basis. And it's all athletes. It's mainly baseball, a lot of softball players too, but it's youth through the big leagues. And I try to keep it so simple. Like I have a 6-year-old, 10 and 11. I want to make it so simple that their teams that I coach and them themselves, it translates to what they're going through and what they're dealing with. So it's like I created something from them all the way to the big leagues. They can literally take these tools, these routines, these strategies, and employ them out there in the real world. I like to call it in the wild, on and off the field. And because as a sign on my wall, it's not supposed to be easy. It's going to be hard. It's a hard journey when you're truly stepping out of your comfort zone, trying to really find out how good you can be, just to achieve greatness, to achieve arete, to achieve our best self. It's going to be hard. We're going to battle dragons. So how can we have the tools? How can we have the mindset to say, bring it on when that stuff comes, knowing we're going to get knocked down, but how can we bounce back quick and get back up and just show up at our best for ourselves and for others and really play that ultimate game in life of develop the gifts God has blessed us with and then use them for the greater good. And through getting to know you, I know we'll talk about it, but you've helped me in that mission. So truly very appreciative of that.
100%, dude. And I love your mission so much, especially when you mention arete, because I feel like that concept and, going through obviously all your teachings has changed my mindset and in my business too. So it's a super applicable field, and it fires me up to be able to work on a project like this. So walk me through, before we started working together, you were doing something a little bit different than we're doing now. So walk the people through what you were up to at that point.
Yeah, so the biggest part of Major League Mindset was an 8-week live training. Now I do one-on-one training, and that's a big part of it. I go around the country doing, workshops and keynotes and all that. But the biggest part where I made the most impact was an 8-week live online training. 3 times out of the year for 8-week stretches, we'd meet live once on Sunday nights. Can't join the live session, you get the recording, you get a workbook, you get the worksheets, and that's basically the biggest thing I did. But it was 3 times a year, so if it wasn't the right time of the year or you couldn't do it, well, now you got to wait till another time. And over time, I only did it once or twice a year. So then it became, how can I continue this impact and really scale? And not scale specifically to make a ton of money. I know if I do things the right way, that'll just come as a byproduct. To scale impact, to scale reaching more athletes, especially at a young age, so we can equip them with these tools on and off the field that are going to really help them and really I compress time. Like I went through everything they're going to go through and maybe more. So how can I compress time when they deal with those things? It doesn't take as long to get through them and it doesn't hit them as hard. And so working, I actually tried before coming on with you to do this self-paced program that I host on a platform called Teachable, where it's the 8-week program, but it's all self-paced. So they can come on, they can go through it at their own time. We meet live once a month, but it's basically the 8-week live training into an evergreen self-paced training. And I tried to I thought that was how I was going to scale it. And before I brought you on, and it just, here and there'd be some purchases. There wasn't a whole lot of intent behind it. There wasn't a good way to market it. I was just kind of, I said earlier, I'm a system guy. There was no system. I was just trying to, oh, this might work. This might work. And I'm not here to ever bash people, but I had, another team on, and can I say this the right way? I'm a big standards guy, RTA guy. You brought it up. That wasn't there. In terms of how I like to approach things, and I expect others to approach things. And so it just didn't work out. You were reaching out to me, and I was like something when I was meditating one day told me, and led me to wanting to call you back and really think about it, hear your side. And from there, did that. And now that self-paced program, we're crushing it together and scaling impact. So it's fun, man.
That's awesome, man. I absolutely love that. So obviously right when we partnered up, I was bugging you quite a bit. I was pretty sold on it, but I'm curious to know, like, what actually made you go with me at the end of the day compared to anybody else that you might have been in talks with?
Yeah, I trust my gut, my instincts, that they've led me in pretty good places throughout my life. And like I said, that one meditation session, for me, I really like when I need answers in my life, or I'm dealing with any kind of anything, I quiet my mind, I do some breath work. Then I feel like the universe, things flow into my mind. I get these answers that I need. And it was a real struggle because I knew this evergreen program, the self-paced program called Unlocked, I put everything into it. I know if athletes who want to find out how good they can be and want to win and dominate the mental game, they take part, they're going to get better. So it wasn't the product. To my core, I knew the product, and I know the product is great and the best out there when it comes to the mental side. Now, I just didn't know how to get it out to the masses. And then during that meditation, something came to me and just told me, I think Ryan's the guy. I think Ryan's the guy. And then we got on a call. I talked to another guy who works for me, Rob, who you know about it. And I told him, this feeling, there's something inside. I feel like this is it. And the other company I had, the contract was kind of running up. I had to renew it. And I was like, this is it. I'm going. Ryan seems so energetic, so passionate. Seems like the keyword seems. I didn't know until we started working together. Like, I could have been totally wrong. It's like, no, like, my instincts are always right. So I could have been wrong, but I followed that, and glad I did.
Love that, dude. That's absolutely awesome. And I appreciate that as well. So
Mhm.
was there anything specific about like how our deal is structured? Because it's definitely a little bit more unique than your typical agency, where you just pay a flat fee and, maybe they help you out, maybe they don't. But I'm curious to know, like, your opinion on how our deal is set up. If you kind of want to explain to people what that looks like, and how you view that.
With that, the other company I had, it just like a monthly fee for what they were doing for me, which I just thought that was normal. That's like the way you go about doing it. And then talking with you and you sharing how it's like, yeah, it's a set monthly fee, but then also a rev share. And I found it right when you said it interesting, because I never really heard of that for what I was doing. And so basically, I was thinking, I was like, well, if he has rev share, well, he's going to be incentivized to work very hard. So obviously, I know you want to help me make an impact, but also it helps you make money as well, because you have a business and you got to support yourself and others. So I really like that, and I personally wouldn't have thought about that. But when you shared it, we talked about it, we came to an agreement. I thought it was genius, and it just, and over the last couple months we've been together, it's really showed that you are incentivized, and because you're doing more than honestly what was in the contract, at least for like a big thing we just did, a big giveaway. You went above and beyond, and I know the rev share might be a part of that, but deep down to me, I think you did it for another reason, because you're really into this, you're passionate, you love to learn, you love to grow, and it just so happens you get part rev share. So all in all, it's just it's a beautiful model, and really a beautiful partnership that I've really enjoyed.
I love that. Yep. You win or I should say I win when you win in all aspects in terms of obviously monetary things, but also the impact, like you mentioned too, which is awesome. So
Yeah.
when we first started working together, you mentioned that the Unlocked idea was pretty fresh. You know, you're trying to market it yourself a little bit. I'm curious to know, like, what specifically were you trying to do, and what was like the infrastructure around that? Because it was a pretty raw idea, from my understanding.
Absolutely. Yeah, for the most part, I would do some social media posts about it. Um, I would send some stuff out to my email list. With the old company, we tried ads a little bit. Um, Never were successful, so we stopped them pretty quickly just because I just didn't have this feeling like that, like I just felt like I was throwing money away,
Yeah.
especially the way they were kind of approaching it. And that's another thing about you that I love. Like you look at the data. If it's not favorable, well, then we make adjustments. We refine the process as it should be. Anything we do in life, let's have our process, let's attack it, and let's look at the data. Hey, if it's not the results we want, well, results reveal. Well, if it reveals something's off, we refine it, and then we do. And I just didn't feel like I was doing that. That company and I were doing that at a good level. And a big part of it, I didn't know how to do ads and stuff. And you are very good at that. So that helped out a lot. And that was basically my process. Again, there was no system behind it. It's funny. I preach system with athletes. I preach have your routines. And I didn't have anything for that, mainly because I didn't know what to do. So again, bringing you on helped tremendously develop that system that we can really just attack, let things happen, look at it, refine it if we need to, and continue to just bring people in and impact them.
100%, 1,000%. So now, coming off of like a pretty fresh idea, not really, like you said, there wasn't a big system in place to actually grow this thing. I'm curious to know now, like, what does your day-to-day look like inside of the process that we're currently running?
Yeah, my day to day. I could go very in depth, but when it comes to what we're doing,
Mhm.
I think it's every other week, you'll send over scripts. I'll kind of put my own language into it. I'll film the scripts for Instagram, for maybe different ads for YouTube. What else am I doing? Man, I'm trying to think what else I'm doing. It's hard because you make it so easy on me.
Pretty
Like you
hands-on,
give
right?
me everything. A big thing for me, man, and everyone listening, I'm not a fan of content creating, meaning filming myself, doing social media posts. Don't love doing that. I know it's necessary. But Ryan, you just make my job so easy. Like you give me everything I need. You give different ideas. You're constantly thinking of ways to evolve and change it. So then you give me all that. I do it. Doesn't take a whole lot of time out of my schedule, which is good because again, I have a lot of one-on-one sessions. I travel. I coach my kids' teams. I have 3 young kids. I have a wife. I prioritize friends. Like there's a lot of buckets in my life. And if I were to not have someone like you, Ryan, to make it easy for me, I'm burnt out. Then I lose the passion. And then it's like, what's the point? So that's where I truly am grateful and appreciative because it's not like, oh, now I'm scaling and bringing more people in, but gosh, I'm working hours nonstop and it's just a freaking grind. Don't get me wrong. I'm a hard worker, but I'm a very efficient, time blocked worker. So I try to be super cognizant of where I put my time, where I put my focus and energy, so I don't give my family the scraps when I'm done with the day. And you really help me do that. So I don't know if that answered your question in
Yeah.
total, but hopefully it did.
No, I love that a lot too, because I feel like I look at the way that you carry yourself and the things that you value, and it aligns very closely to the things that, or the way that I want to live my life, in the next 5, 10 years, as I become a real adult. So it's super cool to kind of be able to see what goes in on the back end in order to make that your reality, which I value a lot, and also just being able to like pick your brain on that sort of stuff too is super cool to me.
Mhm.
And working with somebody that does have those values. So obviously over the last 50, 60 days or so, things have started to kind of pick up, and we've actually started to see some pretty good results from this. So Talk to me a little bit about what's happened since we actually launched Unlocked from literally zero. What are the numbers looking like? How many people are inside the program?
Yeah. I think total the past 2 months, it's around 50, a little over 50 people enrolled. Um, don't know the exact amount. I think over 25,000. But this is big because this isn't like a super high ticket thing. Like at least what we're doing right now, $497, which is still for a lot of baseball and softball athlete families, it's a good chunk of money because they're spending so much money on other training and equipment, travel, all that stuff. And so have brought in a lot of that, but more so than anything, I think of not the money, I think of the 50 plus people and the even more people that we're impacting. Like the Instagram following has gone up. So maybe they're dabbling and they're not taking part of the program, but maybe they are the person that got enough out of what they saw on Instagram where, hey, maybe that's impacting them and giving them. So yeah, 54 in the program. And if they get after it, I know life-changing stuff and transformation help them become who they need to become to get what they want to, really achieve in life.
Mhm.
But who knows the exact number based on creating a YouTube channel. I never had that, and seeing that grow, and the comments we get and the feedback on that, how that's helping people. So boom, that's more than 54. So it's in the hundreds, it's in the thousands of that we're impacting directly with the program or indirectly with the posts we're putting out there. So I don't know if I think I hit on everything, but it's been tremendous. The once again scaling the impact, and this is just the beginning. I tell Ryan I have these up all over my house. 200 unlock. I don't know if you can see this. 200 unlock signups this year. I want to get even more, but that was a floor goal, and we'll see if it works out. But that's the goal. That's what we're after. And again, it wouldn't be as meaningful to me if we're getting all these people to sign up. I'm making this impact, but I'm miserable because I'm so exhausted. Again, I'm making this impact and I have more time than ever. And so it's like when I work with athletes, let's get you two things. Let's help you master the mental game so you can skyrocket your performance. But let's make sure you're enjoying the process more than you ever have in your life. I'm enjoying the process more than I ever have, and I'm skyrocketing performance, meaning bringing in more people and impacting people. So, what else can you ask for?
That's money, dude. I love that. That's super cool. And I love how you always go back to impact too, because, it's super cool to make a bunch of money and things like that. But at the end of the day, like if you don't feel fulfilled in what you're doing, then what's the point? And especially being
Exactly.
able to see you, me kind of helping you indirectly impact these kids that kind of relate to me being a former player myself. Like it just feels so special to me to be a part of that. And to be a part of like a true mission is something that I really value. So,
Yeah, and this is a team, dude. It's not.
mhm,
That's why a lot of times when I do this, I made sure when I played, I don't like to say I a lot. I like to say we, because
mhm.
yeah, and am I doing a lot of the training and stuff like that? Sure, but none of it's possible without the we. I'm a big team over me guy, and like if I don't have you, if I don't have Rob, other people, I could be doing everything, but there's no way I'm impacting as many people. So the we part of this, huge,
Yeah.
huge.
Absolutely love that. One thing I want to dive into a little bit is this month in particular, the last 31 days or so was pretty crazy for us, I would say. Walk us through like what we did this month in terms of like the actual strategy we ran, a little bit on like the revenue that we actually generated from that and things along those lines.
Yeah, so we did a new thing called a giveaway. And basically it was we came up with something we wanted to give away. So the Unlock program, $497, gave that away, gave one-on-one session, gave a team session, gave some swag away, and basically created this giveaway webinar. And I had never done it. Ryan never did it. I brought it up to him, and I'm a big speed is a force guy. We have an instinct, act on it. Don't think about it, act on it. Speed is a force. And I was taught that by my mentors. And so a buddy of mine brought up this giveaway idea. I instantly brought it up to Ryan. And then it was like, a week and a half later, we're running it. And no way it happens without Ryan diving all in. I know he's got so much other stuff going on, but diving all in and creating a brand new funnel for this giveaway. I'm talking learning MailChimp and doing all the MailChimp emails, doing the ads, the scripts. There's probably so much I'm not even, it literally the whole different landing pages, creating the actual software for me to pick the giveaway on the live Zoom. I'm probably missing something, but went all in and created all this. Again, this is one of those things I said wasn't part of our contract. And it went above and beyond. And even before the giveaway, though, this month was better in the ads and people coming into the program just on their own than it was the previous month. So that was great. It was looking like a promising month without the giveaway. And then the giveaway crushed it. We brought in, I don't know exactly how many, I think over $9,000, which is cool. And again, that tells me a lot of people are taking part, and that's what I really care about. And so that happened. And then we're back. We turned the ads off for that, the regular ads. We did giveaway ads. Then we took the giveaway ads off when the giveaway ended, turned all the other ads back on. And now people are back and those are dialed in. We're spending, Ryan's really good at looking at all the data and comes to me, Brandon, these are looking good. Do you want to spend more money? And I'm all about that. If once again, I know spending this money is going to lead to more people coming in for the reasons we've already talked about. And that's been happening ever since the giveaway ended. I believe close to 20,000 this month. And what's beautiful is that's great. But, I'm also able, I'm coming back to this. I'm able still to do my one-on-one sessions. I'm able to travel. I'm able to have the freedom to make my own schedule, leave this Friday to go on a spring break trip with my family. I'm able to do all this with adding all of this stuff with Ryan on. And so that is what I come back to, that just so grateful for, because I'm not gonna lie, when I started this, I thought, and in life to achieve a lot, there's trade-offs. I know this. I don't call it sacrifice. You got to make hard decisions. And I just made the decision, talked to my wife, yeah, I'm bringing on this guy. We're going to do a lot, step up the marketing. It's probably going to take a lot of my time away. More so, I'm still going to prioritize you guys, Lindsay, and, to my kids. But it's probably going to take time away. It doesn't, I'm still able to do everything I was doing. And I am saying that repeatedly today, because that is everything. As a business owner, you can scale, but at the same time you're scaling, you're not getting burnt out, and you have the time to do the other parts of your life that are very, very important to you. I like to think of an identity house. I have different rooms. I don't just have one room where it's just all business, because if that thing floods, you're done. I want to have different rooms and be able to, it's not balanced. We'll never be balanced when we are truly all in, but I have enough where I can give to all these rooms, all these buckets. And thank you, man.
I'm glad I can be a part of that, dude. That sounds so awesome, and it fires me up, man. It really does. Fires me up, dude. I love being here. So, I mean, you've already hit on this quite a bit, but if you just had to pick, one thing, and you might have already said it, I'm not sure, but what's the best part of our relationship from your eyes?
Man, I might have already said it, but it's a couple things. You're always available. And then if I call and you're not, you get right back, or on Slack, you're quick to get back. And I know I'm not always the quickest, but you are, and I really appreciate that. You talked about Arete, so everyone listen, Arete means excellence. It means just relentless pursuit of our best self and expressing that best self. Just have high standards of excellence. You have those standards. And that's the first thing when I talked to the other guy who works for me, Rob, I said, this guy, Ryan, I just have a feeling he fits into the Arete standard of Major League Mindset. And my intuition was right. You do. And so whether it was the giveaway, every single part of it, the emails, the attention to detail. I'm telling you, the company I had last, again, I'm not gonna say names, I'm not here to bash. The standards weren't there. And they had all these clients. I don't know, because I wasn't a huge client for them. I don't know. But there wasn't the intention to small details. There wasn't the standards of Arete. So that, on top of saving me time, helping me scale impact, I mean, I could go on and on, dude. So that's what stands out.
That's so fire. I love it. Has there been any surprises since we started working together, it's like, oh, I didn't really expect this to be that way, or
Yeah.
this shocked me in some sense.
Um, I think if anything, it's the amount of people we brought in. I guess because I tried this before with this Unlock program
Mm-hmm.
and we got a couple. The fact that 2 months in, I could be wrong. I think it's a little over 50 people that we have in,
Mm-hmm.
paying $497, which it's not super high ticket, but it's not cheap. I guess I'm a little, I don't know, surprised because, but I guess, yeah, maybe a little surprised at how many that is. And then I think, like I said, I told my wife it's going to take a lot more out of me, a lot more time, but to scale Major League Mindset, I got to do this. And she was fine with it. She was cool. And don't get me wrong, there's time involved in it. And those days where I have to film the content, I know it's going to be a good chunk of time and I don't love it. And I know you got to pay a price, to achieve what you want. And that's part of it, but it's not as much as I thought it would be. And so that's a blessing right there.
Love that. Yep. And you're great on camera too. So I would have never guessed that you don't like filming.
I don't.
That's awesome. So for somebody that might be out there in a similar position, they have some sort of credibility in the space that they coach in, or the space that they help athletes in. They might already have something that's built out to some extent. They already have a real offer. They have a clear vision for where they want to go. And they might be deciding between, bringing somebody on, doing it in-house, weighing their options. What are you telling that person?
Yeah, if what I said already hasn't hit home, I don't know what else I can say. Like, it's not like Ryan is paying me to say this. Like, I'm paying him, and he is bringing in results. And again, he's helping me do what is my lifelong mission. He's making it very easy for me. He's making it very enjoyable, easy and enjoyable. There's really, as a business owner, I don't know if you're on the fence, and you're thinking, why would I do this? Why? My thing is, why not? Why would you at least not try it? And the thing with other companies that I was looking at, it's a year contract, with them, with you. And if you're really on the fence, I don't know, this, that, money or time, you try it out. It's not like you have to do it for a year, right? Like, and that was the thing with you, man, right? I was like, okay. I really thought it was going to work. Worst case, it doesn't. Okay, we'll go a month, see. And now I know it's going to be a long, long relationship and long journey. So yeah, I hopefully everything I've already said hits home. And it's just, why not? Why would you, if you truly want to scale your company and scale whatever it is that you're doing, whatever program, whatever service you're doing, look no further than Ryan. He's a real deal, man. He really, really is.
Love that, dude. You're the man. I
Yeah.
appreciate you. Is there any last thoughts that that might come to mind while we got the cameras rolling here that you'd want to share?
Bring it on.
I love that.
That's
I
all
had
I
a
gotta
feeling
say.
you were going to say that. I love it. Bring it on,
That's all I
baby.
gotta say. Bring
love
on
it.
the good, bring on the bad, bring on everything in between. Let's go.
Love it.